Good afternoon, evil, and I will tell you one story of a good viewing. You first sensed something was wrong on the morning the alarm clock betrayed you. It wasn't that it failed to ring. Its shrill insistence sliced through the dim bedroom as usual, but that the time displayed was wrong. You blinked against the flash of 6:47 a.m. when you were sure you'd set it for 7:30. Groggy fingers tapped the button, and the clock flickered, then corrected itself to the expected hour. You chalked it up to a glitch, until the next day. The second occurrence was subtler. In the bathroom mirror, a faint shape flickered behind you, an indistinct silhouette that vanished when you spun around. You stared into your own wide-eyed reflection, heart hammering. No one lived with you. You lived alone. You laughed it off, but laughter shook in your throat. By the third day, the trespassers revealed themselves. You found your apartment door ajar when you returned from work. Keys in your pocket. Inside, everything stood unnaturally still. The kettle at half-boil, your toothbrush dripping. The TV paused mid-scene. You froze, every nerve sketched tight. A soft click echoed behind you. You whirled, back against the door, empty hallway. Only the hum of the fridge answered. That night, sleep fled. You lay in bed, too alert. In the quiet, distant footsteps padded across your ceiling, slow, deliberate, measured, as though someone paced on the floor above you. You sat up, heart hammering. The ceiling light flickered. With every stutter of the bulb, you could swear a shape pressed against the thin plaster, watching. You called the landlord the next morning. He sent the maintenance man, a stooped figure who crooned apologies and tested locks, peered into your windowsills. He found nothing. You must have imagined it, he said kindly. His eyes darted. Too earnest. You wondered if he already knew. Pressed into vigilance, you rigged small cameras in your apartment, hidden ones, surveillance apps flooding your phone. You waited. Nothing appeared the first night. Relief made you slack for mere minutes the next. Then the phone pinged. One camera had detected motion. Your blood curdled. The grainy feed showed your kitchen countertop. Knives laid out, tip first, in a perfect row. Beneath them, in precise letters carved into the wood, a single word. Watching. The letters were as deep as if etched by a surgeon's tools. Your breath stalled. Who had done this? And why hadn't the other cameras noticed? In the following days, your world warped. At work, in the crowded fluorescent-lit office, you glimpsed them. 3 figures, identical in their faceless black coats, drifting just beyond the edges of your vision. In the coffee line, in the elevator, gone when you blinked. You accused your colleagues of following you, but they recoiled as though you'd spat at them. Home offered no sanctuary. You discovered your toothbrush missing, replaced by an identical one in pristine packaging. Your clothes, hung in the closet, rearranged by size and color, though you'd left them in deliberate chaos. Late one night, an email arrived in your inbox. A sequence of timestamps, the very times you'd once been alone, and a single line beneath. Next, 2:04 a.m. Heart pounding, you stayed awake until that minute. Then, in the dark living room, your phone buzzed. You dared not look. When you finally illuminated the screen, you found a photograph. Taken from outside your window, the camera lens trained directly on your face as you stared back in horror. Something moved behind your eyes in that photo. A second silhouette framed in the glass behind you. It was you, an impossible doppelganger, identical to every hair and freckle, standing still with empty black hollows where its eyes should have been. Unable to eat, to sleep, you became a wary specter of yourself. You barricaded the door, underslept beneath 3 locks and chains. But at 3:59 a.m. the television clicked on, blaring static that turned into a guttural whisper. Why run? You wanted to scream but found no sound. Something shattered in your chest when the final minute tolled. The chain at the door rattled. The camera app on your phone lit up, motion detected. The feed showed your hallway. The walls darkened, corners pooling with shadow. And there they stood, 4 figures in black coats, heads cocked, turning in perfect unison toward the camera. Their faces were featureless, smooth as wax, yet you felt their gaze pierce you. Your veins froze. The video cut out as if the apparition had torn through reality itself. Then the lights went out. You fled, tumbling into the street without shoes, without coat, and only stopped when dawn's pale fingers pried you from the trance of terror. You called everyone, police, friends, even hotlines, but no one believed the descent of doppelgängers. No one had cameras in their houses catching knives etched with ominous warnings. You had no proof beyond the footage on your phone. But later you noticed something else. The clock on your phone and every clock around you ticked backward, minute by minute, hour by hour, rewinding toward the moment they'd first invaded. Time itself turned traitor. Now, as you wander the city in dawn's timid glow, you realize their plan: to live your life. To step seamlessly into your shoes, into your habits, until you exist only as a painful memory. You ducked into an old shopping mall, mannequins posed like frozen sentinels. As you ran past dark storefronts, lights flickered and died. Your heartbeat thundered in your ears. From the tannoy overhead crackled a distorted voice, your voice, calling your name with warped familiarity. Alone, you pushed through a cracked door into a deserted showroom. You raised your phone to dial 112, but each number you tapped morphed into jagged symbols. The line cut off, replaced by the whisper of your own scream stretching into static. Panicked, you fled deeper into the maze. Locked doors now stood open, revealing mirror-lined rooms. In each, your reflection contorted, mouth tearing into a grin, eyes rimmed in black, and behind it, coat-clad figures leaned closer. Then the lights died. Darkness swallowed you as cold hands brushed your shoulder. You spun, nothing but shadow. You stumbled forward, hand grazing cold glass. In its reflection, you did not appear. Only 4 silhouettes stood, heads tilted, studying you. You turned, and they were there, eyes empty, faceless, inches from your face. You collapsed as silence returned. Dawn's pale light filtered through shattered windows. You staggered into the oblivious morning, dew on your shoes, dust in your hair. Your phone buzzed with a new message. Did you enjoy the preview? You wake gasping on a park bench beneath a skeletal oak, its branches scratching the violet sky. Your hair clings to your forehead, matted with dew and fragments of glass from last night's escape. You glance at your phone, battery 7%. No messages, no contacts, only the lock screen's cracked spiderweb pattern mocking you. You slip it into your coat and rise, knees weak, feet bare and blood slick from unknown cuts. Dawn's light is thin, pale as a bruise. The city stirs, distant horns, the low rumble of buses, footsteps echoing against pavement. Yet wherever you look, a figure in a black coat waits at the bus stop, on the street corner, standing unmoving by a construction site. When you blink, they vanish. When you double-take, they slip behind walls, around corners. You begin to believe they're the city itself, not people but inescapable shadows stretching from every lamppost. An urgent need to hide sends you into an alley, the walls slick with mildew. You press yourself flat against the bricks, heart hammering so hard your whole body shakes. The alley's mouth yawns empty, but your shoulder stings with sudden impact, a push from something cold. You whirl, staggering, to see not one but a dozen figures in black coats filing past, mouths agape in silent yawns as though bored with their own task. Their heads tilt in unison, and you realize they're copying you, not just your movements, but your posture, the way you breathe. One's coat sleeve is frayed the same way yours is, another's boots have the same nick at the heel. Panicked, you sprint back into the street, weaving through morning rush. You slam on the doors of a corner cafe, the bell rings, alerting the barista. Her polite smile crumbles at the scent of your blood and fear. Are you okay? She asks. You nod, too exhausted to speak, and collapse into a chair. She brings a paper cup of coffee, you clench it, burning palms. You need a plan. But the cafe's windows betray you. Reflections shimmer, multiply, every pane shows you flanked by dozens of clones, their blank faces pressed against the glass. You jerk upright, coffee spilling, anger rising in a red haze. You snatch your phone and film the windows, hoping to capture proof of your tormentors. Yet the playback shows only you, alone, staring into empty reflections. When you leave, the barista watches silently, eyes rimmed in exhaustion as though she's known this story plays on loop. You stagger from block to block, hoping for refuge in the subway. Descending the stairs, cool air washes over you, relief so sharp it hurts. The station is almost deserted save for a lone ticket collector huddled in her booth, head bowed. As you move toward the turnstiles, your phone buzzes, a text from your own number. It reads underneath. The screen goes black. A flash of movement on the platform draws your gaze. A train idles, doors open, interior lit in harsh white. In the carriage, seats are occupied by black-coated figures, 15 of them, all staring blankly at you, their empty gaze demanding entry. Your legs seize, you step back, bumping the railing. The train bell chimes. The doors begin to close. Your heart spikes. If they leave without you, you'll lose any chance to follow, to track them, to find where they hide. You lunge forward. They shuffle aside, creating a path. You slip through the closing doors. The train jolts as it departs the station, rattling through tunnels. The air hums with electricity, the tunnel walls flash by in strobing darkness. You crouch on the floor, breathing shallow, listening for footsteps. But no one follows you, no one pursues. Deep in the underground, the train slows and screeches to a stop. The lights flicker once, twice, then dim to a pulsing glow. You rise, heart pounding. The carriage is empty except for one figure seated near the far door. It turns its head toward you in an unnatural, jerking motion. You approach, each step echoing on metal floor. The figure wears your face exactly, same pale skin, the same dark circles under the eyes, except its expression never changes. Its lips part in silent warning. On the seat beside it lies a thin folder labeled in spidery handwriting, "Your life." Your hands tremble as you open it. The pages contain photographs, you eating breakfast as the sun rose, you stepping onto that train hours ago, you ducking into the cafe. Every mundane moment documented until the final photo, a mirror's reflection of the figure in the train, staring back at you. You slam the folder shut. The lights dim further until the carriage is almost dark. Then, from the speaker overhead, your own voice rasps, "Last stop, Oblivion." The doors slide open. You cannot see the platform, only a white nothingness that stretches infinitely. You don't hesitate. You step forward. For a moment, you float, weightless, suspended between the world you fled and the void before you. The wind carries a single whisper in your ear, "Welcome home." Then you fall. You land on cold floor tiles. Your chest heaves. When you lift your head, you stand in a long corridor of mirrors tiled end to end. The air is thick, suffocating. At the corridor's far end, a single door marked exit glows amber. You run toward it, fists rattling the handle. It's locked. You pound, scream, claw at it. Behind you, the mirrors ripple, reflections emerge, hundreds of you, all pressing against the glass, trying to break free. Their mouths gape in silent screams. Their hands scrabble at the surface. Your scream joins theirs as you spin, backing away. The door behind you swings open. The black-coated figure from the train stands there, arms outstretched. Its head titled, lips curling into your unnatural smile. Behind it, dozens more file in, filling the corridor until there is no space left but a single path toward the mirror horde. They advance in perfect rhythm, footstep, 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 each step making the floorboards tremble. You rush forward as though that door could lead you back to life. But instead of light, you find another corridor, another exit sign. Beyond that, another. And another. Each corridor dead ends in a wall of mirrors, each mirror filled with your terror-stricken face. You realize in that moment of paralyzing clarity that you are trapped in an endless labyrinth of yourself. And behind every reflection, black-coated shadows wait to step through and replace you, one by one, until there is nothing left but copies. Your last thought as you plunge into the next corridor is that even if you scream, no one will hear. Because you've already vanished. Thank you very much. See you all in the next video.